Hey everybody, Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at the Netgear ReadyNAS 104. This is a network storage device that supports 4 drives and up to 16 terabytes of capacity. As you can see, 5 levels of protection, automatic backup and sync, of course, movie and music streaming using their mobile app, which supports both iOS as well as Android. I believe it is called ReadyNAS, the application itself, and that is free. And then disk spin down for energy savings. Now you can pick this up with drives pre-installed from Netgear. Of course, I went with the diskless option. You can see that up there in the right corner. 3-year warranty. It's got an LCD or LED readout on the bottom. Power button, basically what you're about to see come out of the box. So again, 4 bays, 16 terabytes of storage, essentially a giant cloud for all intents and purposes. For those of you trying to figure out what this is even about, it's basically moving all of your media storage to one box. So whether you're looking for RAID configuration or mass storage, this is a great solution. And again, even though it is old, it's been on the market for quite some time, its price has come down to far more realistic levels for regular consumers, small business owners. This is certainly not a piece of enterprise hardware, but very capable nonetheless. So you can see easy to install. Again, the Google Play application, Android and iOS compatible. I have read some things about 64-bit Mac support issues, but I am not an Apple user, so that's not going to be a problem in my case. But just something to point out for those of you that are curious. The back of the box, just some more marketing, again, reinforcing the fact that you do have advanced backup protection here. And they did redo the software, by the way, in this generation. So even though it's older, the software has evolved. And from what I've seen, it looks pretty solid. The mixed reviews that the 104, the 100 series have gotten overall, I think it's a combination of different things, especially when you go with a diskless approach. I think compatibility becomes a problem. Hopefully I won't suffer those issues. But in terms of what's under the hood right there, you can see you do have a 1.2 gigahertz processor driving this with a half a gig of RAM to support it. Not quite enough, again, for enterprise class stuff, and that's why I say that's not who Netgear is targeting with a 4-bay NAS like this one. 5 levels of file protection, already mentioned. Automatic RAID protects against disk failure. For those of you unfamiliar, a Google is your simplest way to getting that answer, even though I generally tend to try to answer everything. And basically what Netgear provides in terms of software. Let's get this thing out of the box. And again, it is a bit of a beast. This is not a small piece of hardware. It does have its own external power supply. Some people will not be in love with that approach from Netgear. But either way, when it comes to pricing, you're still really going to be hard-pressed to beat what Netgear has put together here, at least at this point in its lifespan. So I'm going to go ahead and put this aside. I'm assuming that's our power brick and everything else. Let's see if I can get this out of the box here without making contact with the camera itself. I may have to actually just turn this. Not a big deal. And, there are a lot of benefits to doing this, not just, networking this device on your home network and giving access to the whole family, your roommates, whatever it may be, access to all of the, music, movies, any sort of media files that you could possibly have. Here's the device itself. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the box, barring that there's something interesting in there. Looks like we got a little bit of paperwork, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. But as I was saying, essentially what you're giving yourself access to here, beyond just great protection of your data, is again that personal cloud capability. And that's going to give you the ability to use the Android or iOS app to seamlessly access data on here, as well as give other users access to it. And the 100 series, by the way, isn't limited to this 4-bay solution. You can go with others. And essentially, if you do choose to go down that road, they are less expensive, no question about it. Let's go ahead and take a, whoop, almost lost it there. Let's take a quick look at this. Peel the plastic off of here on the front. Got that nice shiny gloss that everybody loves, I'm sure. And the LCD display down here at the bottom that I mentioned before, that you can wake up essentially with the power button. And beyond that, this is the bay door that you saw pop open before in mild horror, that gives you access to all 4 of the bays. So again, 16 terabytes. They're expecting you to go with 4 terabyte drives, clearly. And you know, it's really a matter of what you want to do with it. In my case, I won't be using 4 terabyte drives, but we'll see how things work out. And that's where I said that when you go diskless, you're not going to get as much on the support side, which is unfortunate, but real world in just about any business. If you're not buying it from them, they're not supporting it. USB 2.0 port right here at the front, as well as a backup button, a quick backup button, the power button, as well as an activity light. And they're just letting you know that the LCD behind the mirror, press the power button once to show that, as I mentioned before, to wake it up. I'll remove the protective film a little bit later. This thing weighs, I think, like 10 or 12 pounds. It is all metal, and it should be. On the back, we've got the firmware build there. I wonder where it is in the world of, or the lifespan of this product. Some cooling, of course, because the idea is not to kill the drives. It's part of the reason I picked this up as well, since my business system is all SSD based. I wanted something where basically all of my storage could live, and this is a very good solution at the price. You've got 2 USB 3.0 ports, an eSATA port underneath that, right here above the handlebar, a reset pinhole to the left of those USB ports, 2 gigabit Ethernet ports right there, and then finally the power adapter. And with that said, let me actually break out that beautiful wart that so many of you are going to love. And really, once upon a time, this was something I think a lot of users wanted, but realistically, to purchase a device like this was just out of the realm of realistic justification in terms of cost, effectiveness, and use. Much easier just to buy a really large hard drive or purchase a router that supported essentially USB networking so that you could hook up an external drive and basically simulate what this thing does professionally. Again, when I say professionally, I can't reiterate enough, this is not enterprise. We've got our power cord right here that's going to connect to the actual power brick, go to the wall. It's not a huge, or rather go to the unit itself right here. It's not a huge brick, very similar to what you would find with your average laptop, made in Japan, surprisingly. But straightforward. Some people will have preferred that was built in, but quite frankly, better to have that modular in case anything breaks, and easy swap. Of course, one cable right there, your Ethernet, and then plenty of screws. And they even tell you right here, there's a little notice basically telling you what screws to use for 2.5-inch hard drives and SSDs only, or rather that you should be using that, excuse me, and for 3.5 hard drives, use the mounting bracket on the tray. So I will be using 3.5, so I'm fine. I'm not using any SSDs or slim profile hard drives in this system. But that pretty much covers it. Again, this thing is really a matter of personal use, need. Do you actually need network storage in the house? Do you find yourself streaming a lot of your content? I think as people move away from cable and lean more on the internet, things like this become more and more important. If you're a photographer, a videographer, deal with any mass amounts of content like myself here on the channel, this is right now, in my opinion, a fantastic buy if it's found at the right price. So hope all of you enjoyed the unboxing. I will be, of course, following up with updates and a full review of the Netgear 104 ReadyNAS. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. And of course, as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.